Hey, hello guys, welcome to this video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to implement the logout functionality from the front end. Okay, so we know login and logout both are the important functionalities in any application because we want user to log out from the application. Also, we don't want anyone to log in without a valid token. So I will show the demo first, then we will see how to implement the logout functionality. Okay, so I'm entering the username and password. Okay, so I'm entering the system. So I go to the permissions page, right? So here at the top, you can see there is a logout button appears, right? So this button appears only for the logged in users. Okay, so the users are not logged in, then this button is not going to appear, right? So when I click on logout now, you see, so when I click on logout, what happens is the user is redirected to the login page with the message you are not logged in. Okay, so now when I try to enter the permissions page with the URL change, okay, check what happens. It will not allow the user to view any page, right? It immediately redirects the user to the login page with this message, right? So now let me log in again. So I'm entering the username and password, and when I click on login, you see now the page is shown to the user. Okay, now the user can do any functionalities. He can add new permissions, he can edit this permission, and also he can delete it. Okay, so also he can update any changes in this permission. So when you click on update, it is going to update, right? So what happens when I click on logout again? It redirects the page to login.html with this message and does not allow the user to enter the application after this. So it means the token is not present in the front end, so that application is able to identify whether the token exists. So it is not allowing the user without the token to the application, right? So guys, let me show you how to implement this in the front end. Okay, so guys, you see now I'm going to implement it. Login, register, as well as logout button, right? So these three buttons are visible now. So the first thing what we are going to do is we are going to hide these three buttons in the page. So when I inspect the element, I will get the ID, right? So the ID of login is btn login. In the page load event of this page, okay, I'm going to hide these three buttons. btn login dot hide, and for register it is btn register, if I'm not wrong, btn register dot hide, and the logout button is btn logout. Okay, btn logout dot hide. I'll save this, go back to the page. Let's check whether, see, a register is still visible. Yes, it is capital R. Okay, so I go back now. See, the login, register, and logout, all these three buttons are hidden now. So the thing is, I'm going to hide the page load initially, and only if the user is logged in, I'm going to show the logout button alone and hide the login and register button. Okay, so let me show you that. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether the user exists or not. So how can we check that? So we can check that with the help of local storage. So if the JWT token exists in the browser, exists in the local storage, it means the user is logged in and is a valid user. Okay, so if the user is logged in, the token is going to present, and if the user is not logged in, okay, this token will not be available, right? So what I'm going to check here is whether the token is present or not. So how can we check that? Is local storage dot get item, okay, of the key is user, right? So user, I'm going to check whether this key is present or not. Okay, if this variable is what, not equal to null, okay, it is not null, it means the user is logged in. So that what we can do here is we can hide the login and register button and show the logout button. Okay, show, right? So I'll save this, and in the else case we'll do the reverse. So I'll copy this and paste it. So I'm going to show these two buttons and hide this button. Okay, so let me execute this. Now we can check it. See, the user is logged in now, so that the login and register button is hidden and the logout button is visible. Okay, so what we have to do here is when the user logs out, okay, this is a key part here. So listen carefully, guys. When the user clicks on the logout button, we have to remove the JWT token from the local storage. Also delete the user key that is stored in the local storage, right? So what I mean is, so this key, this object needs to be deleted. So when I delete this, this object will get removed, the local storage. Okay, and when I refresh the page now, see, the other functionality is working, because in the backend we are checking whether the user token is present. So the token is not present and it is showing you're not authorized to see this page. So one thing we can see here is this function will work. See, the logout button is not there. Now the login and register button are only visible to the user, which means the user is not logged in here. Okay, so what I do is I go to the login page, right? So I go to the login page, I'm going to log in again. So when the user logs in, we are storing the JWT token in the local storage. Okay, if I go to the inspect element and application, now you'll see the token created and it is stored with this key name user, right, in the local storage. And now this functionality works, only the logout button is visible. So guys, what I meant to say here is when the user clicks on the logout button, we are going to remove the JWT token from the local storage. Okay, so I go to the bottom. Okay, I'm going to have a button click event. So here, and for the button is btn logout dot click of function. Okay, so I'm going to do local storage dot remove item of what user. Okay, this is the object that is stored in the local storage which holds the JWT token of the user. Okay, and I'm going to redirect the page here. Local storage dot window dot location dot href is equal to slash pages slash login dot html auth equal to false, right? So I'm going to pass this query string. So let us see how it works, guys. So I go to the page, I refresh it once. Okay, so only the logout button is visible. When I click on logout, see, the user is redirected to the login page, okay, with the query string auth equal to false. So now when I try to go to the permissions page from the URL, it checks the token does not exist and it shows you are not authorized to see this page. Also, it shows login or register button. Okay, So when I click on login, it goes to login, right? When I click on register, it goes to the registration page where the user can register themselves. And there is one more thing we can do here is we can forcefully redirect the user to the login page. Okay, so how do we do that is I'm going to copy this code and move to the top, and this else condition, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste this code again, right? So now when the user tries to go to the page from the URL, will not be allowed inside the application and he will be redirected to the login page. And only if the user is logged in, okay, only if the user logs in and the token exists, the application will allow the user to enter the page, right? So the permissions page will now be available for the user, and when he logs out, he immediately transferred to the login page and again will not be able to visit the permissions page, right? Perfect. So in the login page, we are going to do only one thing, which is we are going to display a message with the help of this query string. Okay, so I'll move to the login page, login.js. So here we have a function that gets the query string value, and here we have a function which gets the query string value, process it, and returns back the value that is passed along with the query string. Okay, so I'll show you when I debug this page, right? Let me go to the top. Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a variable here which is let is logged. Okay, it is going to be a string, and this is going to get is equal to get parameter by name, and the key is auth, right? So this is what we have passed as a query string, auth, and the URL is going to be window.location.href. So the current URL, guys. So here we should not copy this URL and hard paste it here. We should not hard code the URL here. Window.location.href will get the current URL and it is passed to the below function, right? Get parameter by name. Now I'm going to check if is logged is equal to false, right? So see, the value which is passed is false. So if it is false, we are going to say we are going to set a value for this alert box. Text is you are not logged in, and we are going to show the alert box because currently it is hidden for the user. Else we will hide the alert box. I don't think this else is needed because already in the page load we are hiding the alert box, right? So I'll save this. I'll go to the page. See, now when the URL exists like this, it shows you are not logged in. So I'll show the full scenario. Okay, so when I log in, sorry, 3099. So when I log in, it goes to the page, and when I log out, okay, it is returned back to the login page with this message, you are not logged in. So now if I don't have the proper credentials, the functionalities will work that we implemented in the login page. So when I enter some wrong mobile number, and let me check, see, mobile number does not exist. This time I enter the right number and the wrong password. It says password did not match, and only when the right mobile number password is entered, the page gets moved to the application. Okay, so this is how we should handle the application login and logout feature in the front end. Okay, so similarly we have to implement the same functionality in all the other pages. So when I go to parking slots, you see now all these three buttons are visible. So whatever we did in the permissions page, we have to replicate that in the parking slots page also. Okay, so guys, I would want you to do this in the other pages. So if you want this application, you mention that in the comment box. I will share the drive folder with you so that you can download this application and implement that from your system. Okay, I hope this video would have helped you a lot in understanding how to implement the logout and login functionality from the front end. So I will see you in the next video with another interesting topic. Thank you guys. Bye.